The mothership Argonaut's Pride waited in the central Atlantic, an island of light on an ocean of eternal night.
On her stern, a deck crew moved with practiced efficiency. Their machinery was built for the brutal physics of the deep.
Inside the submersible, Commander Sarah Vance ran through her final checks. She knew these controls blindfolded.
Beside her, Marcus Chen and James Torres performed their own rituals. At 3 miles down, there would be no second chances.
At 0200 hours, the descent began. The ocean accepted their intrusion with barely a splash.
They fell at 100 feet per minute. The hull groaned under mounting pressure, pressure that would liquefy flesh in microseconds.
At 14,800 feet, the lights engaged, and the abyss pushed back. They had arrived. Their task, find objects 3 feet square in an area larger than Manhattan.
The search began. Hour followed hour in a rhythm divorced from day or night. Screens painted hypnotic patterns in the dark.
The sonar found wreckage, twisted steel, the bones of some forgotten disaster.
The fragments of a lost era lay scattered here. Each received coordinates, a moment of respect, before the search continued. On the 3rd day, the magnetometer registered a cluster of strong returns. Multiple objects, similar composition, buried close together. Gradually, shapes emerged. Angular, regular, too perfect to be natural. Travel cases.
Stay. The manifest had listed a diplomatic shipment. Gold bullion. Investment diamonds.
Retrieval was only half the challenge. Their sub couldn't lift this weight alone. She triggered the acoustic beacon, calling for the ship above.
All hands, brace for deployment. Engage the primary winch.
Winch is green. Cable running hot.
Miles above, a specialized cable began its long descent. The submersible waited, a lone pool of light in the dark.
Torres guided the connection. Each coupling was triple-checked. A failure here meant losing everything to the abyss. A signal pulsed upward. The winch took up tension. The treasure began its 3-mile journey home.
Unburdened, the submersible began its ascent. They rose through zones of increasing light and decreasing pressure.
They broke surface into late afternoon light, a brilliant assault after days of eternal midnight.
The winch operation lasted hours. The cable returned, colonized by life that had built on it during its brief stay in the deep. As sunset painted the sky, the cargo basket broke surface. It swung inboard with mechanical precision.
The cases were taken to the conservation lab. The work of archaeology began. Documentation first, then meticulous cleaning. Vance approached the first case. The mechanism resisted, then yielded with a sound like breaking stone.
The second case revealed diamonds, hundreds of them, investment stones that had waited in the dark for 6 decades. They arranged the treasure, cataloging a fortune. The value would require appraisal, but it clearly ran into the hundreds of millions.
No one spoke. There was nothing to say that could encompass what they had achieved. They had looked into the abyss and returned with proof. No depth was final. No treasure beyond. The ocean kept its remaining secrets, patient and eternal. But not. The captain sent the secured notification. Their mission was a success. Now, they had to bring the treasure home.
Every artifact was secured in armored containers. The laboratory was now a high-security vault.
The adrenaline of the recovery had faded. In its place came the quiet weight of what they'd done and what they'd seen.
For Chen, normalcy was found in data and systems. The submersible required his attention, a welcome anchor to reality. The voyage home was long. Days blended into one another, marked only by watches and the steady rhythm of the engines. The Atlantic reminded them of its power. A storm tested the ship and the crew's resilience, as if challenging their triumph. The documentation was finalized. Hours of sonar data, magnetometer logs, and high-resolution video now backed up their claim.
Their search grid, a tiny scratch on the ocean floor. One set of coordinates, verified, searched, and cleared.
The first gulls appeared. After weeks at sea, the sight was a silent herald. The world of land was near. The transfer was swift and silent. The treasure left the ship as it had arrived, secured, documented, and under guard. Paperwork was signed. Debriefings scheduled. The corporate and legal machinery of success began to turn.
For the crew, it was over. Paychecks waited. Families waited. The deep was a job done. A story to tell in pubs.
Chen sought patterns in the data, a final report to write. The numbers were a clean, unambiguous truth.
The ocean was different from here. A highway, not a frontier. She missed the frontier already.
They spoke of sonar pings and sediment clouds.
The boardroom heard risk assessments and profit margins.
They emerged into the common day. The bond forged in the sphere was unspoken but palpable.
And then they dispersed. Back to homes, to other projects, to lives. Their success was built on 8 months of verification. Auction records, insurance manifests, a corroded log fragment from Monaco.
In specialist workshops, the timepieces were awakened. Some ticked again.
The world learned of the recovery. It was a news item for a day, a financial curiosity, a historical footnote, a marvel of modern engineering.
For those who had been there, the story wasn't over. It was a question. What's next? What other secrets are waiting?
Chen kept the data. It was a masterclass in system performance under extreme duress. A textbook he had helped write.
Torres sought the opposite of the abyss. High, dry, sun-drenched air. A place with horizon lines and no crushing weight overhead.
The Argonaut Pride was refitted. Her scars were patched, her systems updated. The ocean had more secrets, and she was built to find them.
The ocean remained vast, dark, and full of storms.
The coordinates of the Empress were now just another point on a chart. A mystery solved. A page turned.
On the abyssal plain, the silt slowly settled back into place. The trench filled in. The deep returned to its eternal routine.
The knowledge was passed on. The lessons of pressure, patience, and precision taught to the next ones who would dare the descent.
The retrieval was complete. A testament not just to treasure, but to the human spirit that refuses to accept that anything is forever lost.
The silence of the surface world was different. It was loud with memory, where the deep had been loud with pressure.
Chen found his voice not in the deep, but here, explaining how systems keep humans alive in places they were never meant to be.
The company wanted repeats, more treasure, more headlines. Vance argued for scientific surveys, for mapping the unknown.
She found a more receptive audience elsewhere. Scientists who saw submersibles as eyes, not just as tools for retrieval.
A new proposal took shape. Not salvage, but exploration. The company agreed, seeing future minerals.
The benthic Explorer was repurposed. Its cargo basket replaced by a suite of sensors and delicate sampling apparatus.
Maintain descent rate, watch the proximity alert on the starboard side.
Copy that. Adjusting throttle. Terrain is rougher than expected.
Torres translated his deep ocean precision to the surface world, teaching others that every action on a rig or in the abyss carries consequence.
At the very bottom of the world, the machines were gentle. They were guests, not miners. They asked permission with every quiet pulse. The ocean remained, the great, silent keeper. But now it had more voices speaking. The retrieval was a single point in time, a single point on the map. The ocean is the story, and the story goes on.